my dad stole my beer. What is up? Another Monday, another day of running errands and landscaping. I got some landscaping shit to finish up when I get home too. But I was watching, there's a creator I watch. He goes by Bert Struggles. Super down to earth guy, man. I really like the way he portrays his content and shit. But he had a video the other day that I was watching, and he was talking about stuff, you know, he used to do in the past and whatever. And it reminded me of a time or two when my dad stole my beer, and he just drank it right in front of me one day. So I was like 15. I was probably like 16, because I had my truck then. So me and my cousins, we used to have sleepovers, like in the backyard. We had a pretty big backyard growing up. We'd put a big tent out there, just have pool all-nighters out there and shit. And the neighbor down the street, he was our friend. He was a couple years older than us. He was old enough to buy alcohol. So we would get him to buy us some alcohol and then meet us at the back of the corner of the yard, and he'd pass over the fence. We'd sit out there and just get fucked up all night, you know, like teenagers. That's what we did. And at times there was, leftover beer. And back then it was Molson Ice, because that was the strongest beer we could find. It didn't take many to get you going. And if I remember correctly, it was fairly cheap. But at any rate, so some nights there was leftover beer, and I would sneak it in through my bedroom window and throw it under my bed, and I'd save it for next time. So one day, I come home. I was like dropping my cousin off or some shit, and I come home and I go outside in the backyard, and my dad's floating in the pool. He had just got home from work. He's floating in the pool, and I see him drinking a bottle of Molson Ice. And I'm like, oh shit, that's odd, because he don't drink Molson Ice. He would never drink Molson Ice. And I look over at the side of the pool, and he's got like a progress pile. There's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 empty bottles outside the pool. Like, he's just pounding them out, throwing them out. And so my ma comes around the corner, and she's like, hey, where'd your dad get that beer at? And I was like, I have no idea, Ma. I really don't know. And she was like, oh, really? Because I found it under your bed. And I was like, what? She said, yeah, I went in there to put something away, and I accidentally kicked it. I kicked the box under the bed and heard the bottles clang together. So I guess I didn't push it under the bed far enough, and she found it. And anyways, she gives the beer to my dad, and as a punishment. I mean, it really wasn't even a punishment. It was just a lesson. Like, he never said a word. He just drank all them beers right in front of me, and never said a word about it. But my mom was like, this ain't acceptable, blah blah blah, that whole speech you give your teenagers when you fucking catch them drinking or smoking weed or whatever. So yeah, he did that a couple times. So then it became a habit. I guess my mom would always go in my room when I was gone and look under my bed and see if I had any beer in there. So I had to find a different spot to hide it, I thought that was a funny story anyways, a couple times. But then, as I got older, and like, we would kind of still party at the house. And then, my dad and my mom became the cool parents that would let us party over there. Nobody could drive out. Obviously, everybody was staying there in the tent or whatever. They'd take everybody's keys, which, back then, yeah, hell yeah, they were the cool parents. you know, but you can't do that shit nowadays because the millennials, I guess you call them, the kids growing up nowadays, I'm sorry, but they're pussies. And somebody would rat you out. Somebody would fucking, in your friends group, would go home and be like, oh, fucking Dale's mom and dad let us drink over there. Like, and everybody would get in trouble. I just know that's how it would work nowadays. Because the way we were brought up and the way kids are brought up nowadays is completely different. You know what I mean? We can talk about that for a minute. So the parenting nowadays is horrible. And I see it all the time in real-time examples because my wife is a teacher. And she has some of the craziest stories about these kids. Like, they don't respect anybody. Not their parents, not any type of authoritative figure, a teacher, a principal, a vice principal, the security guards. They do not give one fuck about anything. They do what they want. They don't ask permission to do anything. They just do it, and they don't get in trouble because you can't punish kids nowadays because they're so sensitive. And it's like you can't even send a kid to the office because they fucking start crying and want to call their parents and then blame the teacher or some shit for like, oh, the teacher's picking on me, sending me to the office because I was doing whatever. Like, you know, you were doing something you shouldn't have been doing, you little fuck. Like, that's why you're in trouble. Like, deal with it. But anyways, you couldn't do that shit. You know, nowadays, no. If somebody's got a cool parent, like I would be the cool parent. Me and my wife would be the cool parents. We would. You want to you want to let your friends come over here and fucking party and shit? Do it. But y'all ain't leaving. Nobody's leaving the house. And as soon as there's a fight, that's a wrap. It'll never happen again. If you guys can do it and you can be like responsible and just have a good time, yeah, we would totally be the cool parents. But there's always still going to be somebody somewhere that would totally rat you out. And then because the parents are fucking pussified as well. And yeah, that's a thing. Dude, parents are fucking pussies nowadays too, because they don't know how to fucking discipline their kids. So that I could see that nowadays. That would be so bad, because then the cops are going to be getting involved because they're going to be like, you let my you let my kids drink over there? How dare you? You know, the fucking police would be involved. Shit's different nowadays. That's what sucks, man. The world we live in is so different nowadays. It's not even funny. Like, I feel sorry for these kids growing up. Can't do shit. They don't want to do shit. That's the problem. That's the bigger problem, is they don't want to do shit. Anyways, I just wanted to rant for a few. That's my Monday morning rant. I gotta go into a couple stores here and shit. So if you made it this far in the video, man, drop that thumbs up. You know, consider hitting some subscribe for some more content. I'm just like hitting the record button and going. I ain't scripting shit. We're keeping it real. We're keeping it authentic. Peace out.